Resource Committee meeting together at 5:47.
4:47.
4:45. Thank you, Deacon Fred.
Lord, we thank you for this day and for the things that we have accomplished. We ask you, Lord, to guide us in the things that we are going to discuss now. And we just pray that you'll just bless us. And Lord, give us wisdom and understanding. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. It was my, I just had it in my bag.
Frankie Hargis.
Present.
Bill England. Jack Baker.
Here.
Joe Bird.
Honey.
Julia Coates. Jody Fishinghoff. Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Hannah Glory Jordan.
Present.
Lee Keener. Dick Lay.
Here.
David Thornton.
Here.
David Walking Stick. Kara Cowan Watts. John Masters.
Hello.
We have a forum.
Need approval of January 14th meetings.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Moving on down to, yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda. We have a resolution, I have lost it, unfortunately. It's a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application for the 2013 CTAS Coordinated Travel Assistance Solicitation, sponsored by the Speaker. Move to amend that onto the agenda and then to move it on to full council.
Second.
Yes. New business item.
Moving.
New business item 2, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on down to reports. Management Resources, Bruce Davis.
Good afternoon. I know we're in got a short time frame because we got another meeting at 5. So I know you got my report. Be glad to answer any questions you might have. Good to see everyone today.
Any questions for Bruce? Yes.
Mouthful of cookies.
It's all right. It's all right. Have to slip those in. We'll have a lot of time.
On the Veteran Center,
Yes, sir.
the art part,
Yes, sir.
I think it's 1% of the cost of the building.
Yes, sir.
But what kind of cost are we going to use for the cost of the building?
Well, you know, you gave me $2 million. Remember? So,
But the building's going on that.
oh yeah.
We're going to talk 1% of the total.
Of the total. Yes, sir.
What's the total on that?
David.
We had an estimate of 1.6 earlier on before y'all asked us to get the statues. And so I still think we're going to be close to that.
So we gave you 2 and 1.6, be 3.6.
No. That was, it's going to be just it's going to be a little over 25 from the previous. It was 1.6 to finish. And that was always probably 500 to 800,000.
So we're talking 1% of, what's the total now?
$2 million. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, 1% of 2 million.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions for Bruce? Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Chairman, I have one announcement to make. I want to introduce Mr. G.V. Gulager, who's our Manager of Natural Resources. You know we moved Pat Gwynn up to administration. So at this time I'd like for G.V. to stand and be recognized.
G.V.,
You have anything
you got anything to say?
First of all, thank you, and I'm glad to be here and be part of Cherokee Nation. Started employment January the 14th and been working with real estate and everything. Been trying to get everything organized, and I got great staff at Lonagee and at Bull Holler. Went out there about 3 times probably 3 times each and met all the personnel and got a great staff here. So anything I can do to enhance the natural resource department, I'd be glad to take on the challenge. Thank you.
Wait, Joe?
I'm good.
Yes,
When's the next fish fry?
That's right. Well, to be honest with you, tomorrow at 12 o'clock at Blue Holler. No, I encourage my personnel to do more things like that, more camaraderie with the men and the personnel out there and the women. We also have a woman employed down at Dillon again. And I don't know, in the near future, I think South Salt Park is probably your most hidden treasure I've been to. I tell you what, I just love it.
Yeah.
And trying to organize wagon trail rides down there, it's something I want to do for the tribe. Look forward to that. So,
thank you, Jerry.
thank you.
You got, you read?
Oh, I don't have any questions for him, but I probably should expose this as another one of my cousins.
You can do it, buddy.
I
Yes,
told y'all you can't throw a very big loop around here.
Are you talking about David or Jerry?
This big boy right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a few years older than her.
Yeah. But I got more gray hairs.
Yeah, I know you do. Yeah, but you've been here longer.
If you would send your contact information to Gail so she can get it to all of us, your phone and.
Okay, I will do that. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Moving on down to real estate services, Ginger Brown.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Ginger.
You have my report in front of you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Have any reports, questions of Ginger?
One.
Yes.
Ginger, some years ago, we appropriated a certain amount of funds for probate. Remember that, Steve? That time may come again from some of the concerns that we have out there in the community. So when that time comes, would you prepare a budget for us just to look at to make sure we're taking care of all of our probates out there in the community?
I most certainly will.
Appreciate
I
that.
sure will. I appreciate that.
Yes, Tyler.
We actually still get some federal money for doing appraisal, or doing probates, is that
I
correct?
have to check into that to see it. I don't believe so, not at this time.
Well, if we don't get it now, last year we were 900, a little more than 900 probates behind.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big concern.
If I might add, and that might be in different phases, everywhere from being, some of them being in district court, some of them being, with BIA, some of them possibly still needing to do.
I probably need to correct that.
Okay.
We're not really behind.
Right.
It's just that when we get them, there's so many being added on daily that we're 900 out on. And it's not an area that we're ever going to be completely up on. People keep passing away, so you keep having,
It's a process.
it will be a continuing process. It wouldn't matter how much money we put into it. There's only so many probates can be filed a year by your staff.
Correct, and the AG's office, yes, ma'am.
But it's certainly something we need to look at if we're not getting federal funding because we're just getting further and further behind. I was of the hopes that maybe we could have some of that Keep Eagle money that was left over and use it to clear up some of these title problems, these fractional interest problems that we see occurring now as one generation passes to another generation, a piece of restricted land.
Of course, more and more of that is coming up with the Cobell people as they come in. We have about 135 average per week to come in on Cobell alone. So we have been very busy with that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ginger. Your report.
I have one question for Ginger, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, John. Ginger? You just thought she was there.
Ginger, I just, It may be a drop in the bucket, but I seem to recall that when we have a situation where we want to do some rehab on a home and there's some issue that requires some probate, that we can tap some HOSDA dollars to do that. I don't know if you've had if you've experienced that in your time in realty, or if that's not accurate. But I recall there's a few constituents where that was the stumbling block. There was an ownership there because the property hadn't been probated. Are you aware of that?
Daily almost.
Okay.
We have that to happen a lot,
Okay.
and there's just various situations arise that in fact has come up a few times.
But
And,
that's federal dollars, though, being used for those
right.
probates. Okay, very good.
Of course, the actual probate filing, we do the determination of the heirships, and that's our piece of the probate. We don't actually do the petition for probate of the will. And the actual filings, that is done by the Attorney General's office.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Should I have a question? On that property up north of Kansas, where they usually have houses built on tribal lands, have you worked on that piece of realty?
We've worked on a few pieces in Delaware County that have that situation. Yes, sir.
The house is built on the wrong properties?
Yes, sir.
Are we going to be able to get that lined out, straightened out?
Yes, we're working on that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Ginger. Moving on down to environmental programs, Tom Elkins.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Again, like the other folks, I think you have a copy of our report. The only thing I would add is I had spoken a little bit about our last resource committee, about having a special resource committee in March, and we spoke with the Speaker of the Council about setting that up. Under the impression that the council is going to be, or many of the folks, you folks are going to be at CNB's board meeting on the 27th, on that Wednesday, that morning, and we were going to try to set that water conference and that special resource committee on that 27th. So we'll have a water conference on the 26th and 27th, and the part where the chairman of our EPC gives a report to the council would be on that Wednesday, the 27th, since you're already up there, at 2:30 in the afternoon, after lunch. I think your meeting with CNB is before lunch, and then we can have that after that. We're trying to get everything ironed out now with CNB, it's Cherokee Nation Entertainment, because we're having it at the Hard Rock, and we'll get invitations out just as soon as we can.
Yes, Tom.
Tom, I know we had talked about it, but I had not got to talk to Curtis yet,
Okay.
and that would be Curtis's
Okay.
area, whether he wants to call that meeting on the 27th in the afternoon.
27th, the Hard Rock.
And it was at the Hard Rock, and
Yes,
it's in
ma'am.
conjunction with,
The CNB board meeting?
well, no.
Oh, an overall water conference?
Water Gun.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we will
Okay, thank you.
contact that. We'll get that down, Tom.
Well, I would make a motion then that we consider that
Yes.
as a special meeting to be held at the water conference, and kind of explain to them, Tom, what you're trying to do.
Well, there's a statutory requirement for the chairman of the EPC to speak to the council and administration about the condition of the nation's waters annually, really. It just hasn't been done before. And so we'd like to do that. This is an opportunity to get tribal citizens out there to have an understanding of what we're working at. Other tribes that have commonality with us, the 5 tribes, and then people within the Cherokee Nation that have an interest in this. We figure there might be 100, 125, 150 people there, and we think it'll be a good thing. There's a lot of interest.
So there would be one agenda item
Yes,
at this
yes,
special
ma'am.
meeting,
That's all it'd be.
and you would work with the chairperson to properly word that agenda item, so it meets the statutory requirements?
Yes, ma'am.
I would put that in the form of a motion if you would consider that,
Sure.
Chairman.
I think that'll be good. We got a motion and a second.
Now, what day is that on? That's a
Wednesday,
Wednesday?
the 27th, yes,
And
ma'am.
you'll be coming back here Thursday for our regular rules and ENF.
So that'll be on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
And it would be a committee meeting,
Yes.
and so we would need 9 people to obligate themselves to attend to make a quorum.
Right.
So we probably need to make sure that we're gonna have 9 people that will be there.
We'll make sure that happens. Okay.
We just have to load up now and here we toss it.
I have a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Tom, thank you for representing us at Intertribal. Thank you for your input. Appreciate you.
It was really good. The Intertribal's going again, and it's really a benefit for us, so thank you for allowing us to do that. It really worked out well for us.
I got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any more discussion?
We probably need to set a time too. What
2:30.
time?
2:30?
27.
Last Wednesday.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes, carried.
I'll see that Gail gets it out on your emails and your phones.
And I'll follow up with her just to make
Okay.
sure everything's good.
You might step out there and she'll do your
Yes, ma'am.
today.
I'll do
Yes,
Thank you.
it's good, Tom.
Tom, do you know if anyone's working on like an elevation for our nation on water tributaries?
What for them?
The elevation of our nation, the land elevation for tributaries, all the tributaries in our
Like
nation.
identifying them?
Yeah, and working on the footage, how it drops down and where it goes. I think we're going to have that if we ever get into claiming our water rights.
We're working on a lot of different areas like that. And this is something that we might want to discuss offline with some of our folks, because we're discussing that with our contractors, that we're working on a water plan. And I'd like to kind of bring that to you offline.
Okay, and do you know if any other tribes are doing it?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Tribes are approaching it from different areas, what they have most importance in. But I think we're taking a more comprehensive approach than most tribes. And that's probably what I'd say right now.
I think we're going to have that before we get into water rights.
I think you're exactly right.
Thank you.
More questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. Moving on down to Veterans Building status, Bruce Davis.
I'd like to have David Moore come up and give an update on the Veteran Center.
David, would you come forward, please?
Good afternoon. A lot of changes still roughing in the HVAC. Still in the submittal process on the sprinkler systems. We have got the bids back for the statues and putting a panel together to go over that. It'll consist of mainly veterans. Go around, and we had 2 bids come in. Not yet, until they're, until the panels.
Is it under 20,000?
I think our 1% is real close, if you want to do the math. No, they came under that. I mean, it's higher than what we estimated, but not a whole lot.
David, did you have a question?
No.
This time,
Before you actually select the art, can you look at it?
I would think so, yes. I mean, y'all are the ones that, to me, y'all are the ones that brought this to the table, so I would think so after we open it up and go
Have you
through it.
already had mock-ups brought to you, or?
They offered, right now, we're just kind of in the first phase, but there was just 2. and they gave us some artwork of what they.
But you've not bid it out or anything?
Yeah, it was bid out, and this is the two that we've got back. We just had 2 responses. Yes. And they're very different. And I don't,
Well, one was a TV, and we've never lived in a TV, so.
well, I don't, it's different, I'll say that. I don't know. I mean, there was 2 very different, very different bids. But we'll go through the panel, and before we make any award, it'll be brought up, I'm sure, to everybody. We just want to make sure we do it the right way first and get it. Very different.
So when can we expect that you'll share it with us?
I would say probably a week or so we should be able to, yeah.
And should we, as a body, not be too happy with some of it? Can it be rebid?
We can always rebid it, yes. I mean, it's, yeah. We only had 2 responses, so, but it does take a long time to do them too. And then, yeah, they were night and day different.
Thank you.
Councilman Hagley?
My question may be more for Bruce. I need to follow up.
Bruce?
Are we on schedule on the
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at that?
Yes, and it was like 250,000, I think.
No, that's not bad.
The whole deal was what, 500? So, I mean, about half of what it was, so.
So, you want to let us know. And then you'll talk about it.
Right. It was about 250,000.
Thank you.
Council Lady, question off.
I think mine answered both of them. I was just wanting to make sure that you could send them to us because I
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of concerned.
Yeah,
The same as mine was.
me too.
Okay, or could you send us a copy of the bid or something?
Yeah, let us present, let the panel open it and all that, and then.
No,
yeah.
can you send me a copy of the bid request?
Yeah, sure can, yep.
Councilman Lake?
The bids, are these the statues that was talked about a long time ago? And so, what, as far as the panel who were selecting these, who do it, does veterans have anybody in there? I think we discussed.
Most of them be veterans.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them on the panel be veterans, yes. I'd say probably, we're gonna have 5 people, and I'd say 3 or 4 of them will be veterans. Maybe all 5 of them.
And the dollar amount that you're going by, let's go through that again. We gave, how much to Mr. Garvin, and we get?
They're from under $200,000 down.
Well, now, I want to know how much money is in this building right now.
Right now?
When it's complete.
Probably be about, with art and everything, the 1% and all, probably about 2.2, somewhere in that area, because of the money that was already put in with the front of it. There was 500,000 to 800,000 before,
Yeah.
they started.
So how much did we give, did the council give you? At that
2
time?
million?
2 million?
Yeah.
We gave you 2, and there was how much already?
800,000 already into it.
So it's a $3 million building?
I don't think we're gonna spend the whole,
Okay. What happens to the money that you don't spend on it? Does it go back to the gen fund?
I can't answer that, but I would think so,
Yeah,
yes.
Somebody can here. but-
Yeah.
Or does it come back to council to reallocate? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I cannot answer that question, but
Finance folks here?
I can get that.
And I guess
Jordan,
Mr. Jim will ask why there's not any finance.
Can you
folks
answer that question?
We'll come back here.
Back there.
Thank you, sir.
Come back there.
That's it, thank you.
Mr. Garvin,
How many statues are we talking about? Each person, each bid?
Well, one of them is one, yeah, but it's of all five. And one of them is a symbol with 5 medallions. Now, that's probably about as far as I should go until we, get it.
No appearance of military at all, just medallions?
One of them, but the other one was 5 incorporated into one.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
okay. Any more questions for Dave?
Good report.
Thank you, sir. Good report. Moving on down to old business. Landfill status report. Tom, you think we need to table that one more month?
Well, the problem is, we started getting the report from the contractor, but we don't have the whole thing, and it came in chunks. And a lot of the data that supports it, one piece I looked at was 175 pages, and I just got that today. We haven't gotten the whole thing, and I think it would be irresponsible to start speaking about little pieces of it right now.
Make a motion to table for another month.
Motion made to table. All in favor?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to new business. Item number 13021. David Gordon?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, this resolution that authorized the Environmental Program Group to submit an application to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for Clean Air Act, Section 103 funding. Do you need that passed through tonight? No. Okay. I'll make a motion to
A motion? Second.
approve this funding.
Any discussion? Yes?
I'd like to add as a sponsor, please.
Councilman Pierre is a sponsor. Any more want added? Frankie? Any more added for sponsor? Okay, all in favor of this motion? All opposed? Carries. Thank you. We're moving on down to new business. Item number 13022. This is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Office of Environmental Programs to submit a formal grant application to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for a brownfield grant. The amount of the grant is $250,000 and there's no match.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? Yes, Lee.
I'd like to add as a sponsor and also make a friendly amendment that strike, well, if we just have, say, principal chief or its designee.
It's the handout you got to correct that.
Oh, okay, all right. Forget that.
Good, good.
Still add a sponsor.
Be added.
Anybody else want to be added sponsor, Don Garvin? Mr. Bird? Okay, we'll vote on the motion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on down to 13023. A resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Environmental Program Group to submit a formal grant application to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Office of Environmental Justice for a solid waste management grant. This grant's for $100,000 and there's no match.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yes.
We'll be added to sponsor
Added?
to all these
Carrie sponsor.
environmental programs.
Lee as a sponsor. Miss Mel Garden. Lady at the sponsor. Ready to vote? All in favor of the motion? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 13024. Frankie, would you take that, please?
This is a resolution authorizing the Environmental Programs Group to submit a formal grant application to the Region 6 USE PA Office of Underground Storage Tanks. Make a motion for its approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Sponsor.
Had David sponsor. Don and Meredith and Lee. All in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Moving on down to number
5. Mr. Chairman, this is a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application for the 2013 CTAS Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation. It's sponsored by Madam Speaker. I'd like to be added as a sponsor. It needs to go to full council tonight because it's attached to a grant application on which Ms. Barker Harold is familiar with, and put in the form of motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
If we could, I would like to defer to our legal counsel to just give us an explanation of the work that's been done on this to this point.
Okay. CTAS is the tribal, coordinated tribal application or assistance solicitation that was created in 2010 for tribes to write one grant application for 9 to 10 purpose areas that are funded through the Office of Justice Programs, ranging from Office of Juvenile Justice, COPS grants, Office of Victims of Crime, Office on Violence Against Women, and other related Office of Justice programs for the Department of Justice. The purpose areas that we are looking to apply for, the tribe is looking to apply for, is Purpose Area 1, which will be funding for the law enforcement through COPS. 2 is the strategic planning funding that just funds a to assist in strategic planning for the tribe. Purpose Area 5 is Office on Violence Against Women. Purpose Area 7 is the Office on Victims of Crime, and those two will assist in the Tribal Task Force on Victims in Domestic Violence. Purpose Area 8 and 9 are Juvenile Justice Assistance for Tribal Youth. And the grant application is due early March or right around the time of the council meeting for March, but the system that you upload the grant application to, the grants management system, with so many tribes applying for, we're going to try to apply early, submit it early. And so we want to go ahead and get it approved by the council today and approval by the council tonight, because that resolution has to be included in the grant application.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Yes, Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And what's at the last paragraph on the first page, it says we're authorized to submit the application for what you mentioned, the numbering off. This is included but not limited to those.
Well, there are 9 or 10 purpose areas, and in case someone decided to, if the Attorney General ICW looked at and wanted to do Children's Justice Act, which is Purpose Area 6, I think. I don't think that they've made that decision, but I added that language in case they wanted to add that or one of the other purpose areas.
But will they vote? Are we voting for 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9?
Yes, and then if someone gets their information together and decides they want to submit it, maybe they can look at too.
For more, not excluding the.
Right, not excluding those.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And the way it works is you do one application, tribal profile and all that stuff, and then you submit it all in one and it's supposed to make it easier. We'll see.
Do we have more questions? All in favor of this resolution?
Aye.
Any opposed? And moving on down to announcements. Any announcements? The next scheduled meeting is March 11th, 4 p.m. I hear a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
We have adjourned.